Long before the great heroes of Greek mythology walked the earth, there existed a creature whose name alone caused warriors to tremble. She was not born a monster. Once she was known as the most beautiful woman in the land, but today, the world remembers her as Medusa, the woman whose eyes could turn any living being into stone. Her story is not just about horror. It is a story of beauty, betrayal, curse, and revenge. The woman before the monster before she became a creature of nightmares. Medusa was a priestess serving the goddess Athena. Her beauty was legendary. Travelers crossed entire kingdoms just to see her face. Her hair shined like gold in the sunlight, and her eyes were said to be as clear as the sea. But beauty, in ancient myths, often attracts danger. One day, the powerful sea god Poseidon saw Medusa. He became obsessed with her beauty. The stories differ about what happened next, but all of them end with the same terrible result. Inside Athena's sacred temple, Poseidon violated Medusa's purity. When Athena discovered what had happened in her temple, her anger was unstoppable. But instead of punishing Poseidon, she turned her wrath toward Medusa, and with a single curse, the most beautiful woman in Greece became the most horrifying monster. The curse of the Gorgon. Medusa's golden hair twisted and transformed into living snakes. Her eyes, once admired by everyone, became deadly weapons. Anyone who looked directly into them instantly turned into stone. Her skin hardened, her beauty vanished, and she was transformed into one of the terrifying Gorgons. Medusa was not alone. She had two sisters, Steno Euryale, but unlike her sisters, Medusa was mortal, which meant one day she could die. Banished from the human world, Medusa fled to a dark island at the edge of the sea. There she lived alone among ruined statues. Each statue was once a living person, warriors, hunters, adventurers. All of them had come searching for glory, and all of them had become stone. Over time, Medusa's island became known as the most cursed place in the world. No one who entered ever returned. The garden of stone travelers who approached the island described a terrifying sight. Hundreds of stone figures stood frozen across the land. Some looked terrified, some held swords raised in battle. Some appeared to be running away, but none of them moved, because every single one had looked into Medusa's eyes. Even animals were not safe. Stone horses stood beside stone soldiers. Stone birds fell from the sky. And in the center of this silent graveyard, Medusa waited. Her snake hair hissed constantly. The creatures whispered in the darkness, sensing the presence of anyone who came close. For many years, Medusa lived this cursed existence, half monster, half victim, until one day a hero arrived. The hero who came to kill Herthem and sent to defeat Medusa was Perseus. But Perseus knew that facing Medusa directly meant instant death, so the gods gave him special weapons. From Hermes, he received a sharp sword. From Athena, he received a polished shield that acted like a mirror. Using the reflection in the shield, Perseus could see Medusa without looking into her deadly eyes. He also received magical gifts, winged sandals that allowed him to fly, a helmet of invisibility, and a special bag to carry Medusa's head. One night, Perseus quietly entered Medusa's island. The air was silent except for the hissing of snakes. Guided only by the reflection in his shield, Perseus slowly approached the sleeping monster. Then, in one swift motion, he swung his sword. Medusa's head was severed. The birth of monsters, but even in death, Medusa's story was not finished. As her head fell to the ground, something incredible happened. From her body emerged two powerful beings, Pegasus, the legendary flying horse, Crystal. These creatures were said to be the children Medusa carried after Poseidon's assault. Even after her death, Medusa's power remained. Perseus kept her head as a weapon, because even after being severed, her gaze could still turn people into stone. He later used it to defeat monsters and enemies before finally giving the head to Athena. The goddess placed it on her shield, known as the Aegis, where Medusa's terrifying face would forever frighten Athena's enemies. The real horror of the story: many people see Medusa as a monster, but some believe her story is far more tragic. She was not born evil. She was cursed, betrayed by the gods she served, turned into something she never chose to become. In that sense, Medusa represents one of the darkest themes in mythology. Sometimes the real monsters are not the creatures we fear. Sometimes, they are the ones who create the monsters. And even today, thousands of years later, the image of Medusa still appears in art, films, and stories. Because deep down, people are still fascinated by the woman whose eyes could turn the world to stone.